Happy Friday, everyone. I just wanted to share that in this life, it really is all of our responsibilities to take care of things in this life. For me and my husband, we're realizing more and more that we both need to do work in our relationship. We both need to be considerate of one another. We both need to be patient, kind. We both need to be compassionate. We both need to be slow to anger, quick in forgiveness. We both need to acknowledge that we both make mistakes all the time. And I'm just really learning to be more humble and to let him know. You know, I want him to communicate. I want him to touch me, right? So if I'm learning a little bit faster, then I need to be working a little bit quicker. You know, you ever thought to yourself, I wish that person would just be so kind to me. I just wish that person would just touch me. I wish that person would just do something really nice to me. You know, the quicker you want something in life, I think the quicker we need to act upon it. So let's say you really wanted to make a really good friend. In order to have a really good friend, you have to be one. So maybe check in on someone you really care about, see how they're doing. Maybe they'll come check on you eventually. And it goes the same way with relationships with husband and wife. So today, right before I left the house, my husband and I had a little spat because, I told him, I need you to be home no later than noon because I need to get to work. So he already had it in his mind that everything was cool, and that he was gonna go do free things that he wanted to get done this morning before he took over my daughter. And he probably felt really good about it, that he was gonna go get some stuff done before noon. But then suddenly around 10:45, I realized that he was still home, and I thought he would be out of the house before 9, because that's what he told me yesterday. So he had a cancellation of his job kind of situation, and so he was, who knows, doing things at home for who knows what, doing who knows, I don't know, right? So it was 10:45 when he told me that he was going to be gone for 25 minutes. And I know my husband, when he says it's 5 minutes, it's not 5 minutes. It's more 10, 15, 25, 35 minutes because, he got busy. And long story short here, I called him and he didn't answer. So then I left him a little voice message, text kind of thing, where you can hear the voicemail. And I started throwing him a good one. I started saying things like, you know what? I'm finally realizing that you're so selfish, that you don't care about me, that you're not here. Well, yes, when I had just told him that he can be home by noon, right? Okay. Well, I had an epiphany this morning when I was running around, cleaning up, picking up laundry, taking up trash, putting the trash away, sorting the laundry, cleaning up the counter space because we got home late last night, so it was a mess. So I'm cleaning up counter space, getting coffee prepared, getting breakfast prepared. All these things were on my plate, on my lap, right? So I just had to get all this stuff done. And I started realizing, oh my God, I am not even taking time to wash my face, to take care of myself. I am really pissed, right? So I started putting this whole situation of my life, the fault of why this situation wasn't working for me, on my husband. In my mind, I was like, this is all his fault. But then I started thinking about, wait a second, this is not all his fault. I communicated to him that he needed to be home by noon. So he was probably already feeling good about it. So then this is what I did. I took responsibility and I said, you know what? And I left him a message. I said, this is my fault. I'm finally realizing I told you to be home at this hour, but I cannot do this anymore. I can no longer think about you like this anymore. I have to think about myself. Once a week, I would like my stuff to be taken care of. And then before I left, I said, and I need you to start taking care of our daughter first thing in the morning when you wake up. She is your responsibility on Fridays. You know, because that's the thing we did. We made a solution. We made an agreement that for me to take care of certain things that I need to take care of, that he is in control of, that he can help out with, is that he agreed to Fridays, right? So then I've decided, okay, from now on, it's no longer Mrs. Nice Girl, right? I'm no longer going to say things like, so basically I was saying, no more Mrs. Nice Girl here, right? Like, no Mr. Nice Guy, kind of like one of those things, but it's like, I finally said, you know what? For now on, she is your responsibility, so you need to help me out. So my husband didn't want to talk to me because I didn't want to talk to him, because he started like throwing me a good one too. He started like giving me all these things. He didn't even like what I was giving my daughter for breakfast. He thought she's having too much sugar. You know, we're dealing with all the parenting situation things, you know, and that's a whole another issue, you know. So the story for today is, I'm learning to take responsibility for the things I say, and I'm learning to say, you know what, this needs to be done a certain way. We need to work it out. And I touched my husband. I gave him a nice word, and we had a really good discussion last night on the way home after we went on a trip. And I said, hey, I really feel like you and I need to work harder. We need to do some work. We need to take care of our relationship. And he's like, yeah, I know, we do. And, you know, he's called me things like twat. He's like, you effing stupid twat. And it's crazy, right? Because yes, he's saying these things that are really disgusting, really hurtful. And he's even called me a cunt in the past 2 years, which is really crazy because he's never called me that. And I just feel like over the years, people just think that they can just call their spouse any kind of name in the book, which is really disgusting and foul and just completely evil, and just, I call it straight up just gross and pathetically lazy. Okay, so if you don't want to have solutions in your marriage, or you don't want to like do the homework to use powerful language that involves actual structure of like healthy communication and resolve, and you just rather tear down your marriage and talk crap and say nasty words, you know, that's not a good way to live. You know, that's like a really lazy way of living. So we had a really good talk last night, and you know, my husband's a pretty intelligent man. He's got, you know, he's got his ways, and he's got his career, and his career involves, you know, helping people. So he should be able to understand that he's got to do the homework too. So we started laughing. He smiled a little bit and laughed a little, and he's like, yeah, you know, he's basically feeling like a fool because he doesn't do the homework. And he even said it. He goes, you know, I get lazy, you know, I just don't want to do it. He's like, it's ridiculous. So, if that's coming out of my husband, and he's a really intelligent man, has a master's degree in psychology, you know, it goes to show all of you that in this world, we really need to stop being so freaking lazy. You know, if you know something, you have knowledge of some kind of secret to mankind, to have knowledge and breakthrough in marriage and lifestyle. You have that secret. Like, my goodness, I beg of you to please just try to make life better, and to be a really awesome influence to everyone around you, including your family, because wow, we have the power to give life or death in this life. You know, you have the power of life and death in your tongue. And so I've been playing the game with my husband. If he calls me a twat, I call him a dimwit. He calls me a freaking Sherlock, I call him like freaking Buster. You know, he's like, Buster? I'm like, yeah, Buster. I used to know a dog named Buster. He goes, I don't want to be known as Buster. I'm like, well then don't fucking call me Sherlock, okay? And don't call me a twat either. So, you know, expression on my face, but like, if you guys want to know a little something about me, like if you don't see I have an expression on my face, because I'm basically like a freaking bottle that's ready to explode. There's a lot of pressure, and once there's a lot of pressure in a bottle, you can't even shake it. It's just pressure, okay? So if you guys ever see someone in life that just has no emotion, it's because maybe this person has gone through a lot. This person hasn't been able to breathe. This person hasn't been able to relax. This person hasn't been able to be heard. This person hasn't been able to cry or to feel like some type of self-worth. You know, I have self-worth. I know that I'm valuable, you know, and sometimes my husband says things like, well, you need to keep telling yourself that. It's like, you know, I don't need to keep telling myself anything. I know who I am. So if you ever have a person in your life that is manipulative in their ways of thinking, in the ways of science, in the ways of communication, or whatever, I really suggest that you yourself start learning that there's so much knowledge and so many ways to learn things about life, to improve your life, to be wiser still than anyone that comes your way, and just learn to really challenge a situation. Sometimes if you challenge a situation, it'll change. I'll never forget that from Paula White. She's a preacher. She said that challenge your situation and it'll change, and it's true. My situation is that I have a marriage that can be really tough because my husband and I have our own personalities and they're pretty strong. So the more we acknowledge what needs to get done and we're loving to one another, the better. Also, space is a big deal, and giving each other praise for the good things we do. Before I left, I did tell my husband, you know what? I love you, and even though you don't feel it, you know I love you. And even though you don't want to talk to me, I have to give you some communication for the sake of our daughter. So I gave him some key notes on what he needs to do, because I noticed that when I give my husband like a little bit of pointers in life and during the day and situations, he actually follows through, and he's grateful, and he listens. So even though he doesn't really acknowledge or say anything, he's not a guy of many words when it comes to communication verbally. He's really good at writing. It's like he likes to write me long text messages right before I have to go somewhere, and when maybe I'm really upset about something or we're not getting along, and it's kind of like, I guess that's his way of communicating, so he's not like yelling at me or talking to me, because I don't want him to talk to me when I'm upset. So I guess he finds a way to communicate. I just got to be able to listen to those messages or read them when I have some calm, because I'm the kind of person that likes to take care of things right away. So anyways, I really hope what I'm saying helps you out today. The point here is that any situation can be fixed. We all have responsibility to take care of our actions and our life story. And if we can just change up a little bit on things and just be a little bit more transparent about what needs to get done in life, I think our lives will be a lot better. Because again, we're not perfect, but if we want to be perfect, we need to try to be perfect. So if something went wrong, try to fix it, and try to also maybe say you're sorry and apologize, and also let people know that they're valuable. Like I let my husband know he's valuable and that I'm grateful, but that I also have to be a little bit more clear about what I want during the day. And so that's why we continue to work things out. So I really encourage you to work on your marriage if you're married, and if you want to get married, just remember that it's not easy, but life can be amazing. So so many people have stories, and I love to hear them stories. So I hope you like mine, and I'll catch y'all later. Till next time with Revelations by Esmeralda.